What does it take to create something that endures? A legacy.
And the international team, for the first time, has captured the President's Cup.
It all starts with hard work, commitment to a cause. With every strike of metal, progress. It takes strength. Tempers will be tested.
Just flat out missed it.
Sinews strained.
Oh, he just ripped this one.
You need resilience. The journey to mastery is long. But even in the darkest moments,
So it's a full point for the Americans.
there are always sparks of light. And the heat of battle forms the strongest bond.
That is exactly the kind of ignition the internationals need.
If you can bring all these elements together and stay the course, then maybe you're forged for greatness.
This is the Road to the President's Cup, brought to you by global partners, Rolex, 1Password, and Cognizant.
We're players from different countries, and to kind of have at least one logo for us players just kind of brings everyone together and makes us feel a little closer as teammates.
We're not a disjointed group of guys from all over the world.
America is 500 million people, but the rest of the world is 6 billion. So you're representing a huge mass of very skilled people. But as a team, what was our identity? What was our mission?
We're trying to find that edge to not just be competitive, but to win. We're going to be tough.
Only the people on the team know what the logo stands for.
This logo has brought guys together much more.
We're all really proud to wear the shield.
Playing for your country, but you play for the shield as well.
Gives the team an identity, and we're all really proud to wear the shield, and it's a huge honor to represent the international team.
The players who are aspiring to make the team and even kids one day looking up to make the team understand what the shield means, and I think that's a huge part of the international team's evolution.
The players that enter that group and put that logo on his chest, he understands what his role is to play a President's Cup for the international team.
There's nothing quite like putting on the red, white, and blue.
It doesn't get old, and it always jacks you up.
I love being from the United States. I'm proud to be American, and so when you can go out there with the flag on your chest and play some golf for your country is a very special feeling.
It brings me a lot of pride to be a part of these teams.
That pride is unmatched, and to do it as people under one nation, I think is pretty special.
You just want to show out and get as many points as possible, and then you can celebrate after.
And it's Xander Schauffele who delivers the last decisive point as the U.S. wins the President's Cup for the 12th time in 14 contests. It's 9th in a row.
The U.S. has been so dominant. We've had just so many great players, captains.
We have a bunch of momentum, and we don't want to lose that momentum.
We're up for the challenge, and we're ready to go.
You really don't think about losing. You think about how you're going to win.
As the U.S. looks to continue its dominance, the squad's top 6 players made the team through their performance in a weighted FedEx Cup point qualification system, each bringing a unique flair to the red, white, and blue.
What I bring to the U.S. team is a unique style of playing the game, more of a scrapper mentality.
How about the gala?
Yep, they're all going in, fighting his way back.
Leading up to his President's Cup debut, the Gala ranked 19th in strokes gained total this season, 9 spots behind fellow first-timer Wyndham Clark.
He's got the all-time 18-hole round at Pebble Beach. 60 for Wyndham Clark.
Intensity and passion for my country, I think, is the greatest honor you can do as an athlete. Having that opportunity is a dream come true.
Clark has 3 wins in the last 2 seasons, including the 2023 U.S. Open, and is joined by 2-time major champion Collin Morikawa.
I kind of bring that even-keel nature. I allow people just to kind of get relaxed and be themselves, and that's what you want around a team room.
Morikawa's relaxed mindset has translated to top 10 finishes in nearly 40% of his starts, including a runner-up in the FedEx Cup. He qualified for his second appearance alongside Patrick Cantlay, who missed only 1 cut this season.
Hopefully I bring some points to the team. Every time you get to team up with the best players in the world and represent your country, it feels different.
Joining Cantlay is his match play partner Xander Schauffle, who is fresh off the best season of his career.
Watch this. Like that shot.
Schauffele ranked second on tour in strokes gained tee to green, strokes gained total, and scoring average.
I bring, hopefully, really good golf, being a good teammate, and hopefully a lot of fun as well.
And the only man who outpaced Schauffele this season is Scottie Scheffler.
He's won at Augusta National, TPC, Sawgrass, Bay Hill, Harbour Town, and now Muirfield Village. If you did that in a career, you would be ecstatic.
En route to 7 victories, Scheffler led the tour in more than 50 statistical categories this season.
He is a dominant force in our sport, and the rest of the players are trying to figure out just how on earth they're going to find a way to beat him.
What does Scottie Scheffler bring to the U.S. team?
The king of Bay Hill again. The 50th Players Champion.
A lot of competitiveness and some fight out there.
Pure domination. The run continues.
The undisputed greatest player on the planet.
I pride myself on staying there the whole time, and I'm hoping to bring a little bit of that energy to our team this year.
For the second time in as many cups, Scottie Scheffler leads Team USA as its top automatic qualifier.
World #1 PGA Tour Player of the Year, doing his thing at the first.
But Scheffler's President's Cup debut didn't live up to his standard.
Scheffler 0-3-1. It's their worst record by any world #1 in a President's Cup.
I don't think I've performed at my best in the last couple team events, but I was able to come off with a couple halves.
And more recently turned in an 0-2-2 performance in last year's Ryder Cup.
Match play can be a bit fluky, and so hopefully I'll take the last 2 team events not performing my best, and hopefully continue to perform at a high level, catch some breaks, and be able to win some matches.
Scheffler's high level is in a different stratosphere, dating back the last 3 seasons, but specifically since the last President's Cup.
Back-to-back titles at the WM Phoenix Open.
The Scheffler victory train just keeps on rolling.
I've gotten into a good headspace of being able to play loose while staying focused the whole time, being committed to what I'm doing and not worrying as much about the results.
He's the best player in the world, best iron player I've ever seen.
For win #6. Scottie Scheffler with another tournament title. In the 6th month of the year, he's got a 6th victory.
Scottie Scheffler is already one of the best players to play in my eyes. I think what he's done is as impressive as any stretch that I can remember.
One of the all-time seasons for Scottie Scheffler. Takes it all.
I've had a really good year out here on tour. It's been nice to get some results and get some wins this year, and I'm definitely hoping to ride some of that momentum into the President's Cup.
In addition to his 7 wins this season, Scheffler brought home Olympic gold for the United States.
I've always felt tremendous pride in representing our country. I love being from the United States, and I'm proud to be an American, and so when you can go out there with a flag on your chest and play some golf for your country is a very special feeling, and I'm looking forward to doing that again this fall.
I'd love to play with Scottie. He is Iron Byron, and I kind of have the speed and the firepower and can make a lot of putts. We both have great short games, so I think we complement each other well. We got a little taste of that at the Olympics. We played practice rounds. It was Scottie and I versus Xander and Collin, and Scottie and I came out victorious, and I think we could do that against other people for sure.
The clear-cut #1 in the world, armed with a seemingly unlimited list of credentials, will lead Team USA in Montreal by example.
It's going to be hard for our team to win if I'm not out there delivering some points for our team. And so just going into it, with the right attitude and being committed to my shots and then going from there. Scottie's definitely one of those leaders that's more of watch what I do, and he does it in the actions. He's not as verbal about his leadership, but he's definitely a leader. He's definitely our horse, and I wouldn't be shocked if he went out and won every match. I'm not going to go in there trying to do anything different other than be myself and be a good teammate and a good friend to the guys that are there, and hopefully come back from Canada with a win.
In an ongoing effort to build team camaraderie, Captain Weir has gathered international players throughout the year for team dinners, and the team bonding was evident early in the season.
I know a lot of the veteran guys that will be on our team, but some of the new guys, get them educated on what our team's all about, what we're looking for, and what we expect for that week.
Mike's been great for our team so far. A couple dinners, and it was very nice to be around Jason, be around Adam, and all the other internationals.
I really appreciate you guys coming here. It's just, there's nothing too formal about this evening. It's about us guys getting together, getting to know one another, familiarize yourself.
We're trying to find that edge to not just be competitive, but to win. We're not this disjointed group of guys from all over the world. This shield and this logo has brought guys together much more. And, we're going to be tough.
Over the past 5 years, the Shield has been the identity of the international team. But over the course of the past 21 years, Adam Scott has been its face.
There was so much talk, and obviously rightly so, about Adam Scott kind of being a fifth captain. I mean, he's got that kind of presence on the team.
The Aussie has played in 49 matches over the previous 10 President's Cups, dating back to 2003.
Qualifying for 11 straight President's Cups is certainly a highlight in the career, but it's because it only comes around every couple of years. I'm really determined to keep making this team while I'm out on tour, being competitive and making sure the internationals get another victory.
The experience of Scott will be complemented by the energy of first-timer Min Woo Lee.
He is one of the more exciting players that we have on the PGA Tour, a potential budding superstar.
The President's Cup was on my mind from a young age, just because that's a team event that I can play in. I haven't played a team event like this in a very long time, but I've heard from past experiences of people that it is a pretty special feeling.
Lee's Olympic teammate Jason Day now joins him representing the black and gold, marking Day's return to the internationals for the first time since 2017.
What does Jason Day bring to the international team? Just some experience, and hopefully bring a little bit of, humour to the room would be nice too. It's going to be interesting to be one of the older guys in the team room, even though I act, a lot younger than what I am age-wise.
Now 36 years old, the four-time international team member last played in the President's Cup when he was 29, though it feels like worlds ago.
Brilliant shot there by Jason Day.
As his journey back to prominence has been plagued by continual setbacks, which ultimately cost him his spot on the international team in 2019, just as the squad's renewed character started to take shape.
I was going through that process with Ernie that transitioned into that new identity. I was injured and I wasn't able to play. I missed a couple. Since then, I've had to work my way out of the position I was in with the injuries.
Before the injuries, Day had the world in the palm of his hands.
Jason Day. Jason Day with a birdie in the 72nd. Once again showing he's the best in the world.
There is a new #1 golf. Jason Day is on top of the world.
Fresh off a 5-win season in 2015, Day was the clear-cut leader of the international squad in South Korea.
How many times this year did we see that?
But turned in an 0-4-1 performance.
I felt disappointed in my game because I was #1 in the world, and I just didn't quite give the energy that I wanted to in that President's Cup.
Jason Day has not shown up this week. It's just disastrous.
looking back on it, I just felt like I could have just done a little bit more.
Day's struggle in the 2015 President's Cup is a microcosm of the overall hardships of the international team, and foreshadowed more of his own struggles since. All calluses that have helped reshape a winning mindset in both the team and Day himself.
It's hard to be on the receiving end of losing. That's difficult because you know that there's guys out there actually giving their heart, but there has been a lot of positive. Trying to work my way back was a hard 5 years, but I feel like I had a lot more to give in my game.
Jason Day, for the first time in 5 years, is a winner on the PGA Tour.
I'm trying to get back to #1 in the world. The hard work and dedication that everyone puts in every single week, you had to kind of dive deep into it because it was more of a lifestyle and kind of very similar to when I was trying to become #1 in the world.
He has been through so much since his last win.
I'm glad I went through that journey in my career because careers aren't always up. There's kind of jaggedy roads, you know, and they all lead to ultimately what you're trying to achieve.
Now 33rd in the world, the Aussie is an automatic qualifier for Captain Weir's team, returning to a country which spurred his ascension in 2015. And now officially ready to represent the Shield for the first time.
It's nice to be able to play under one flag, knowing that we're all competing for each other and competing for the rest of the world. As the years have progressed, the team dynamic and the way that we look at things have changed ultimately for the positive. And I think that'll just grow over time. Now, I'm hoping to play in many more of these and be able to accumulate more points and try and do my job, which will ultimately help the team. I've got the experience and I feel like my game's just as good as anyone else when I'm playing well.
While the top 6 players earned automatic qualification, U.S. team captain Jim Furyk had the difficult task of selecting the remaining 6 to round out the roster.
He is really swinging the golf club well.
Ranked 13th in strokes gained total and 2nd in both putting average and birdie average this season, Sam Burns returns for his 2nd President's Cup. Another strong putter, Russell Henley, will make his debut for the U.S. team.
Straighten out at the end and dead center for Henley.
I've worked on every part of my game very consistently, and I've been seeing some results from it. I've watched all these team matches over the years, always just hoping for an opportunity to be on the team.
Fellow Georgia Bulldog and President's Cup first-timer Brian Harmon made his U.S. team debut in last year's Ryder Cup.
When I'm good, I'm really hard to beat. I don't have any quit in me. U.S. team's getting all that I've got. I've had this one circled for a long time.
Tony Finau returns for his 3rd President's Cup.
Whatever the captains ask of me, I'm willing to do, whether that's cheer, play. I'm a team player, and you can count on Tony Finau being ready to play.
Adding to the veteran presence in the team room is Keegan Bradley, who returns to the team for the first time in 10 years.
In these formats, I feel like every hole is the last hole of the tournament.
Keegan Bradley takes the BMW again.
You're able to really let your energy out and enjoy the moment. That's my favorite part about these tournaments.
Completing Captain Furyk's team is Max Homa, who was a perfect 4-0-0 in his President's Cup debut in 2022.
I have a love for our country and for the team environment. I feel like I'm a good teammate. I enjoy being around all the guys so much. I've got just a passion for it. I enjoy the format.
While golf is typically an individual sport, the President's Cup turns solitude into connectivity. And the key to team success are the characteristics that comprise a great teammate.
Somebody that you feel comfortable out there playing with.
Just an all-around solid team player. Your attitude has to be up-tempo no matter the situation, and cheering on your guy whether you're playing well or not.
Nothing seems to waver him. If you hit a poor shot or if you put him in a bad place, he goes, yeah, it's okay. Let's move on to the next one.
Not afraid to be himself out there. You don't feel any pressure to do anything different than you normally do.
I've played with a bunch of different types of guys, and for me, as long as a guy's giving it all and hates to lose, I'll play with him.
There's no one that I don't get along with, but if there was someone I didn't get along with, if they shot 62, I'm gonna freaking hold them up and hug them and give them a cigar.
Over the course of the past 2 team competitions, there's statistically no partner better than Max Homa.
And he delivers.
I'm not sure why people would say I'm a great partner. I do think I try to boost up my partner's confidence level. I try to tell him that, you know, you go be Superman and I'll be here for you.
Bang!
If I'm on that golf course, I still have a chance and I'll be fighting for it.
Max's dog, he's shown a lot of his bite. You feel like there's just no way he's gonna let it go. He shows a lot of heart, he shows a lot of fire.
Homa set his 2022 President's Cup debut ablaze, going undefeated and securing 4 points for the Americans.
Max fits the mold of a match play player. He's able to excite the crowd, excite his partner, excite his team. Those are attributes you really want on a President's Cup team.
Oh boy, what a shot. One of the best swings in the game comes up big here.
So he's just really relished the environment. That's something that you can't really teach to guys. As an American, I really love having him on our side during the team events.
Homa continued that intangible success in last year's Ryder Cup, recording 3.5 total points.
He hates to lose. He gives every bit he's got, and he's a competitor. I mean, him and I did extremely well together, and I'd take Max to war anytime.
I think my biggest reflection was just that the moment wasn't going to be too big. You never really know if you're going to be able to make those putts and hit those shots under a lot of pressure. You don't want to let your team down. But it was really cool to see that I didn't blink in those moments. I was worried that maybe I had built them up too much and that they weren't going to live up to the hype, but they exceeded it. It was about as fun as you should ever be allowed to have playing golf.
Already bonded by country are the South Koreans, who feature some of the international team's strongest competitors.
Got it! He wanted the big stage, he got it, and he delivered.
Tom Kim returns for his second stint after a breakout performance in his 2022 debut.
My first President's Cup, just was so passionate and wanted to do so much for our team. It is the 1 week where we get to play on a team environment, and after the last one, I wanted to be on this next team again. There's so much joy. For that 1 week, you're not playing for yourself.
Tom just brings so much energy to our team. It's great to have that. You know, he's a big part of this team and can spur on some of the other Korean guys.
Joining Kim will be Sung Jae-in, who has won 50% of his matches in his previous 2 President's Cup appearances.
Sungjae gonna take a run here.
Oh, and a run down in the hole.
And Ben On returns to the international team for the first time since he secured 2 points in 2019.
Big putt. Captain L's like that one.
It's been pretty close, last few of them. Hopefully Canada this year we have a great run again, and I really think we have a great chance.
The final Korean on the team is Si-woo Kim, who earned his way on via a captain's selection.
To take a 1-up lead over Justin Thomas. Oh.
Thanks in part to his experience in 2 other playings, notably in 2022, where he led the international team with 3 points.
Great to see the emotion come pouring out of a guy like Si-woo Kim.
But leading the way for the Asian representation is Japan's Hideki Matsuyama, the leading qualifier for Captain Weir's squad, and a staple for the internationals. Players from South Korea have shown to be an integral part of the event, most recently, the emergence of Tom Kim.
What does Tom Kim bring to the international team?
I guess energy. I'm just getting goosebumps thinking about it right now. I'm very passionate out there, so I think energy is a big thing, especially as a young guy, just trying to be a little bit of a small voice for our team. I want my teammates to know I'm playing as hard as I can, and when you can have a few fist bumps or a few roars, I think you can definitely get the team going and gives the team a little boost. I had a little bit of a moment there in my last President's Cup where just the whole team was just washing over you, and you have this burden of trying to not let down your partners and let down your team, let down your captains.
Already multiple fist pumps and energy from Tom Kim today. Can't imagine what he'll do if this one lands to win it.
I just love that environment because you're playing for more than yourself, and I was just ready to go. Got very, very, aggressive, and I was feeling like I was about to go to war. All that stuff just, I think, brings such a special environment. Luckily, I have one experience under my belt, and I think going to our home ground, the crowds are going to be great. They're going to be very feisty, and, I can't wait to get those Canadian crowds going.
Kim adopting Canada as home ground is symbolic of the unity of the international team, considering his own roots in Korea is some 7,000 miles away.
I think it's really big for Asia because, America feels really far away. The PGA Tour feels really far away. You work really hard, and all you think about during practice is kind of making it to the tour. And you kind of have that grit, you kind of have that swag.
Oh, and a run down in the hole.
This is Ben on.
Boy, big putt.
That survive mode, I think, is really, really important, especially in these team events, because they can get very competitive and you're playing for a lot more than yourself. So I think when you can bring that momentum to the team and have success, it'd be really good for golf internationally.
Kim's pride for team and country represents the group's mindset, all stemming back to the Shield as not just a logo, but a philosophy.
Being that camaraderie environment for literally 1 week out of 2 years, it's so special, and it brings friendships closer, and I think that's how us players bond. We're not just one country. We're players from different environments, from different countries, and to kind of have at least one logo for us players just kind of brings everyone together and makes us feel a little closer as teammates.
Camaraderie, and a culture built by its history. While the team's past is dominated by heartache, it's something that's embraced by each who don the black and gold, even if some have only felt it once.
Us internationals haven't really had much success in President's Cup. I left that Sunday, it was heartbreaking, but I won my second PGA Tour event, literally my next event after the President's Cup.
Tom Kim is a two-time winner before the age of 21 on the PGA Tour.
Your game's in a really good spot where I feel like all I need to do is just trying to figure out the golf course and literally just execute to what I see. And building up to this President's Cup, putting is a big difference. I think just around the greens, just being really sharp. And if you'd told me to putt to win the President's Cup, I would love to have a chance. And there's not a single event that brings the same amount of emotions and nerves that come into team events. So if I can have a few more of these under my belt by the time I finish my career, I'd be pretty proud. If we keep knocking on the door, we'll have our chances and to be a part of the Shield. And when we do win our first President's Cup, it's going to be very, very special in the history books.
Xander will absolutely grind out every shot possible. Guy never gives up on any round or any shot.
I was going through about a 2-year spell where I didn't win a golf tournament.
Every time he's finished second, he just made him work harder.
Following a 4th runner-up finish in 12 months, and even after 7 victories in his first 7 seasons on the PGA Tour, Xander Schauffele unlocked the ultimate confidence boost this year, winning the PGA Championship and the Open Championship in a 2-month span.
Winning any tournament helps us players gain confidence, but winning my first major and then the second one shortly after added to that self-belief bucket.
An incredible late spring and summer for Xander Schauffele.
To see his success, finally getting the breakthrough with the major and then winning another one has been awesome. He deserves all of it.
Xander Schauffele.
I've been extremely impressed with Xander. He's really become so sharp at every aspect of his game. The guy doesn't have a weakness.
Birdie number 7, and Schauffele up by 1.
He's played well for the last number of years, and it doesn't surprise me at all to see him play as well as he's played, and I hope he continues to do so.
Oh yeah, it's a much tougher hole location to get it close, but not for Xander.
It's been really impressive to just watch his career unfold and win as a deserved champion.
And while Schauffele is playing at the top of his game right now, his talent was on full display in his last 2 President's Cup appearances.
Big swing in momentum here. And now Schauffele 1 up with 3 to play.
It's one of the most fun weeks that we have all year long. You have so many stars on the team, and at the end of the day, everyone just wants to help each other and kind of push the same direction.
Massive putt by Xander.
Xander is a great leader and teammate. He pushes everybody, and he wants to win, and I just think that competitiveness in general oozes throughout the rest of the team.
He's someone that, 1, has the experience, but also 2, is just ready to take on, head first against whoever you're playing against.
Chance to put it away.
And Xander Schauffele, who delivers the last decisive point.
With a 6-3-0 record in the President's Cup, Schauffele's had a huge impact on Team USA's success. But his role extends beyond his physical performance.
Xander's definitely the class clown for us.
I almost played this year.
The funniest guy in the team room, Xander Schauffele. You might not know that when you're looking to play golf because he's so locked in.
Xander is awesome in the team room. He's so funny, always cracking jokes. Anytime I have the Xander in my mind, it's of him laughing, his crazy laugh.
When you have 12 guys on the team, you want someone to just kind of keep everyone just happy. That's him for sure.
It can be kind of tense at times. When I'm relaxed and feeling good, is when I usually play my best. So, if we're winning, we're smoking cigars. That's sort of the rule.
The jokes and the little nudges that he'll give guys, it's fun to see, and those things are some of the best parts of those weeks.
Having guys like Xander on the team that'll keep things loose while still being competitive is a good person to have on the team. We all know how incredible he is at golf. What he brings to the team atmosphere, I think, is unscalable, and it'd be cool to have him as a teammate again.
What does Christian Bezuidenhout bring to the international team is a lot of I bring guts, I bring determination, and I never give up.
The whole stuttering started in primary school. When I was younger, I would just completely be alone. So many bullies at school that would make fun of my situation. They don't want to show my emotion. They started to laugh at me. I'll just laugh with them, just take the punches, and then after school, go home and just go lie on my bed. I had a pretty lonely few years. Luckily, I had golf.
You close the door from the outside world, and now you get into your own world, and you can just be yourself and create your own art out of golf within yourself. He was in his own world.
As the lone South African player on the international team, Christian Bezuidenhout will have the comfort of his fellow countryman, Ernie Els, in the team room. The 2024 captain's assistant has been an influential figure in Bezuidenhout's life since his early days, through his namesake foundation.
Growing up, South African, Ernie Els was always my idol.
When I met Christian, very quiet but very intense. Seeing the abuse and how people treated him definitely put a toughness in his play.
Bezuidenhout's grit earned him 5 worldwide wins in a 5-year span early in his professional career.
Brilliant stuff from Christian Bezuidenhout.
Including 3 titles on the DP World Tour.
He is your champion.
I think if I didn't have golf, it would have been much harder for me. I actually started to get a bit more confidence in myself, traveling a little bit more over the world, seeing things from a different perspective. Wish that I accepted it earlier in my life. I wanted to be perfect. I wanted to speak fluently. I've accepted that I stutter, and I'm actually proud of it because it makes me unique.
The South African was nearly perfect in his President's Cup debut, going 1-0-1 in 2022. But he returns to the international team with bigger goals than an unblemished personal record.
Successful week for me would be standing with that trophy with all 12 guys and the vice captains and the captain, and lift the trophy up and make history for the international team.
I've always felt we've had a lot of talent in this country, and now you see guys starting to break through and win and be in contention more often.
Weir, fellow Canadian, watching his two Canadians. First time two Canadians on the same President's Cup team.
And this year, a new record of 3 Canadians will join Captain Weir in representing their homeland. Starting with Mackenzie Hughes, who will make his long-awaited international team debut after just missing out in his adopted hometown of Charlotte in 2022.
I think I'd bring a lot of grit, determination. I love match play, and I feel like I'm a good match play player.
He'll represent his true home and native land and bring his stellar performance with the flat stick, ranking 3rd in one-putt percentage, which could make him a go-to partner for many on the team.
Royal Montreal is going to be unbelievable, and competing in a President's Cup is already a huge honor, but then doing it on home soil would be the stuff of dreams.
Taylor Pendrith is back in black for his 2nd consecutive Cup.
We've got a great team this year. We've kind of embraced the underdog role, and on paper the U.S. team's super strong, but we're here to surprise some people.
The combination of power and finesse, ranking in the top 10 in both driving distance and strokes gained putting, and the confidence of his breakthrough win could help redeem himself after going winless in 2022.
I'm a good driver of the ball. If I can get it in play and set my partner up in the fairway, that's probably my #1 strength.
And Pendrith's partner that same year, Corey Connors, also returns to the black and gold after his debut at Quail Hollow, thanks to 12 top 25 finishes and no missed cuts in 22 starts.
What I bring to the international team is consistency and hopefully a few points.
What Connors is playfully referencing is his record 2 years ago, where he didn't win a point in 4 matches. Shocking, considering the consistency in his career, which, to no additional surprise, continued this year. Ranking in the top 25 in both approach the green and greens in regulation for the 6th straight season.
Oh, hello. Almost back-to-back eagles there.
Man. I haven't been in the winner's circle yet, but it's been a solid season, and I feel like my game, is well suited to partner up with a lot of others. No matter who I'm partnered with, we'll try and get the job done.
A top 10 representing Canada in the Olympics, as well as flashes of positivity at Quail Hollow, are also on his side.
Corey Connors from long range ties it up.
And a true home field advantage could also heighten his performance.
I'll definitely draw on my experience. There will be a lot of fans cheering us on, and it'll be a much more comfortable atmosphere. Having Mike, fellow Canadian, as the captain, Canadians love sports, and they'll be cheering us on with all they've got. It's an incredible feeling representing your country, and my experience at the Olympics was amazing, and representing the international team at the President's Cup in my home country will be a really special experience. We've been trending in the right direction, and a successful President's Cup is bringing the President's Cup home to Canada. It's a big honor to represent the black and yellow shield, something that I'm really looking forward to doing again.
There's a lot going on the first tee of a President's Cup. It's an electric atmosphere. Those fans that were there in 2022, the enclosed atmosphere, stadium-like field, the chants from the crowd. There's going to be that similar atmosphere, but it's all going to be wrapped in our home team black.
Come from the putting green to enter in a stadium-like atmosphere, fans cheering for each side. be a lot of Canadian fans and a lot of international fans here cheering for their team, and it just creates a lot of excitement. We as players prepared our whole careers for moments where you step on the first tee and you're in that great atmosphere, and there's no place you'd rather be.
Mesdames et messieurs, bienvenue à la Coupe des Présidents 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2024 President's Cup.
The first tee in Montreal will host 2,500 fans, matching the event's largest build from 2022, adding to the pressure of hitting that first tee shot.
I still remember it like it was yesterday in 2019. I remember not being able to feel my arms.
You show up on a first tee, there's nerves, and honestly, I think the nerves for a President's Cup starts on the range.
I was fairly overwhelmed walking to the first tee.
You get to the tee and you start to hear the USA chants.
I'm very, very thankful Tony hit the first tee shot. He was a superhero at that point to me.
When you tee your ball up, you know, it seems like there's havoc going on around you.
I just think it's all the people that kind of crowd around the tee. They go crazy.
And then you tee your ball up and it's dead quiet. There's a lot of nerves involved, but overall, you have to relish it.
That's what's really cool about team events, especially the President's Cup, is it channels that energy into not necessarily being nervous, but fuel and excitement.
The guys who have been there know exactly what to expect, but the guys who have not are eager and excited.
I'm sure it's a rush that I've never experienced before, and just the adrenaline you probably have from representing your country and knowing that you've worked a lot of hours and a lot of years to get to this point, especially for me.
It's something I haven't been able to do in my life yet, and just can't even imagine what the feeling's going to be like when I step on that first tee. It's going to be stressful, but in the best way possible. It's nerves that you want to have. It's just going to feel kind of like a full circle moment.
Every time I get to come to Montreal, I love it. I love the culture, the people. We have great diversity in the city and our country in general, but here in particular, the people are fantastic.
The folks here from Canada are great sports fans. They love their golf. This is a great venue for that.
I'm in this position now to lead a bunch of guys that I really care about and want them to succeed and want them to reach their goals and their expectations. It's an honor to do that. I'm really looking forward to the challenge.
It was an honor to be named captain. Anytime I can have the flag on my sleeve and represent our country, to represent the American side of the PGA Tour and 12 guys is amazing.
And it's Chris Bezuidenhout who wins the President's Cup.
It's an honor for us to be a part of it, and I'm excited to lead this team.
We've known each other a long time, and to be captaining against Jim's an honor. Captain, welcome to Montreal.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
It's a worthy venue. It's a great course.
It's withstood the test of time. It's a wonderful golf course. It'll test all aspects of a player's game, and so I think it's a great venue.
Royal Montreal is a really historic venue in Canada, and it's a tricky golf course, but one that you can make a lot of birdies.
Any sporting event held in an old city like Montreal is just going to be better because of the history and the generations of things that have occurred there.
Pride is very, very high because they know that Royal Montreal is on the world-class scale. On our course record board, we have Jack Nicklaus's name, we have Tom Weiskopf's name. So we've had phenomenal rounds of golf played, and we've been so proud to host some of the world's greatest players of all time.
The golf course is a very traditional golf course.
It's a good course for match play. I think it gives you a lot of options off the tee.
The uniqueness of that golf course is the slopes of the fairways are opposite. So if the whole dog leg's right, fairway slopes left. And so it's difficult to keep the ball in the fairway.
It's a great golf course. There's a lot of risk-reward shots, a lot of water around.
Oh. And is this one headed for the water? Yes.
There's a lot of water in play about midway through the back nine. Back-to-back par fours where you have to hit it out on some peninsulas and across the water to the greens.
And that went in the hazard.
That part of the course is awesome for match play because there's a lot of cool shots coming down the stretch there where you got to decide how much you're going to take on.
He splashed it left in that water. Oh, what a mistake.
I expect some length. I expect a different golf course, but I think the DNA of it will be very similar to 07. Crowds will be huge. Canadians love their sport.
I have really strong memories of Royal Montreal. I can just see this being a really strong international crowd up there, something that we've been working towards for a long time, and I think that's going to really help lift our team.
We'll move ahead to 14, and what a wonderful short par 4, just 280 yards in length today.
We're presently standing on a new tee box that was recently built. Kind of trees cleared. It's a beautiful look. It's about 400 yards from this tee box. You're going to see a lot of guys maybe hit it out there 250 yards, leave themselves a 150 shot.
I'll tell you one thing about Jim Furyk. You're not going to wear him out. He'll wear you out before you wear him out.
14, we're walking up. This tee was built for the 2007 President's Cup. The tee marker here in the middle of the tee says 301 yards to the middle of the green, so we're probably looking at approximately 285 to the front. This is going to give a lot of guys an opportunity to want to drive the green.
Oh, he just ripped this one.
We've been waiting here all day to see that.
If I were to guess, playing in a lot of President's Cups, I would say they would try to make this hole a drivable par 4 in the 4-ball matchups, where you had two partners, one guy could play conservative, one guy could be aggressive. This is kind of where I remember hitting it off the tee in 2007, playing a wedge to 9-iron into the green.
Well, you look for this one to be close. Furyk is good with the wedges from this distance. That's a good angle to play from, though, isn't it? A little right to left, a little uphill, a little right to left.
The other thing about this hole that's very interesting is really the severity of the green. It's a little bit of a boomerang shape. As you can see, very narrow, small green. It's when the rules officials put the pin somewhere in this area, this is the prime time to maybe pull out a driver, try to put it just short of the green on the front fringe. So number 14 here at Royal Montreal, it could be a pivotal hole, a turning point in any match. It's a short hole, have to get the ball in play. Maybe drivable, can be set up a number of different ways, but late in the round, you don't want to lose any holes.
Well, Mike's played two beautiful holes in a row. If he can get this in the fairway, I think it's advantage Weir. I really do.
What's great about this hole, when the matches do come down to this hole, it's a pretty intimidating tee shot.
Well, he's looking left. Is it okay?
It's going right on the ledge of the water, but I think it's going to be all right. Oh, yeah, that's good.
That's a great tee shot.
There's water down the left. You have to fit it between the bunkers out there on the right, and it's very important to hit the fairway here. It's probably one of the most narrow tee shots if you're deciding to hit driver.
It's 466-yard par 4, and he got a big drive there, though, Roger. He got that hop off of that little hill.
You can see here as we get into the meat of where guys mostly will be hitting from this 200-yard and in spot, the fairway starts to pinch in a little bit.
Just 170 left to the hole, Johnny.
He's walking. He's walking after it.
I remember when I did hit my second shot from here, Gary Player coming over and giving me a big hug. I think he was pretty happy.
This little guy from Canada has stood out in a big way. He's going to end up the best point getter for the Internationals.
The crowd was incredible. They really pulled me through that match. I was glad to give them something to cheer about that day. I remember Tiger being in this pretty deep rough here, and people were starting to say, "Congrats, Mike." And I said to Brandon, "Mike, hey, he's going to hold us." That's what he does, in these kind of moments. Sure enough, he chipped this ball up, and it looked like it was going in and just missed the edge. He came over and shook my hand.
And a huge day for Mike Weir and Canada.
I think it's a great finishing hole. There'll be a lot of people up here if there is a match that comes to 18, and it'll be super exciting.
Anytime you're able to represent your country, represent the United States, you just want to perform, you want to be at your absolute best, and you want to come out and win.
Oh, yes!
As a kid growing up, I always dreamed of playing, team events for, my country.
Sam Burns with a monster eagle.
We're seeing the old guard of the internationals moved out and the new generation of players coming in, which is very exciting, and the enthusiasm is at an all-time high.
I would say they're definitely hungry. They got a lot of young talent.
These guys can play like brothers too. And in case you didn't notice, it's starting to get contagious.
It's so rare to be able to play as part of a team. Being able to represent your country is really just no words you can put to what it means to us.